All right, I'm going to go ahead and call this special assembly meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Felix Rivera.
Present.
Susan LaFrance.
Here.
Christopher Constant.
Here.
Pete Peterson.
Present.
Forrest Dunbar.
Here.
Austin Quinn Davidson.
Here.
Fred Dyson.
Here.
John Weddleton.
Here.
Crystal Kennedy. Meg Zalatel.
Present.
And Cameron Perez Verdia.
Thank you. Moving on to Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Whitpearson, can you please lead us in pledge?
That way, guys.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so as most everyone knows by now, Ms. McPherson will be sadly leaving us soon. And so I asked for this meeting to do one last legal update with her before she left us. And so the purpose of this meeting is to provide a legal update on various matters. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. McPherson to set the frame.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we'll be going into executive session for this update, as we usually do for litigation updates, so that we can discuss confidential attorney-client information about the status of litigation. Pursuant to AMC 230-035B1A, the Assembly is committed to recess to meet in executive session to discuss a specific legal matter, which includes pending litigation. All information shared and gleaned in this session is confidential. No official action will be taken in executive session. The session shall be taped. Tapes will be available to members of the body only and may be discussed only in further executive session. The tapes become public at a date set by the Assembly at the conclusion of the executive session. With respect to litigation, it's when all eventual appeals in a certain litigation have expired. So since we'll be discussing multiple matters today, the tapes today will be able to become public once every appeal of every pending piece of litigation we discuss is concluded. Any member who needs to leave during the session may leave, but may only be updated on the discussions after his or her departure in a subsequent executive session or via review of the tapes of the session. With this specific subject matter, you can also come to me afterwards if you'd like to. You can always, any of you individually, come to me for a debriefing on what kind of confidential attorney-client debrief on what the status of litigation pending against the municipality. So with this specific subject matter, that is an option as well. Employees and staff members that the body determines are necessary to the conversation may remain in the meeting during the executive session. So in this instance, the majority of the folks seated here are attorneys in my department who will ask to have remain in the room clearly during the executive session. The new ethics code states that no public servant shall use, disclose, or release confidential or non-public information gained through the person's municipal position unless authorized by law or order of the court. Any violation would be referred to the Board of Ethics. The code provides that the board may make recommendations for corrective action. Past corrective actions have included financial penalties or professional consequences. The municipality may also pursue a civil action against an official where the release of confidential information adversely affects the outcome of litigation. And such a disclosure could also subject a member of this body to a recall election pursuant to state law. The code, as we discussed before, the code doesn't specifically provide for the destruction of notes taken during executive session. That was past practice under previous municipal attorneys. If you would like me to collect your notes at the end of this session and destroy them, I'm happy to do so. I'm also fine if you would like to take notes and take them with you. And I just remind you that the contents of those notes are subject to the same confidentiality restrictions as just oral information gleaned in the session, that you're charged with making sure those remain confidential if you take them with you at the end of the day. So today, the Municipal Attorney's Office seeks to apprise the Assembly of the status of pending litigation matters against the municipality, and I would seek a motion from the body to move into executive session to discuss these matters.
Move to go into executive session.
Moved and seconded. Mr. Dyson?
Yeah, you answered most of my questions, but should we make an effort to make sure everyone who's here is here and understands the restrictions and close the door?
Yes, we certainly should. I don't know if, Mr. Chair, usually ask everyone to identify themselves right before we, yeah.
I will, yep. Okay, so before we take a vote on that motion, let's go ahead, have folks at the table introduce themselves, put their name on the record, and then folks in the audience who are staying, put their name on the record.
B. Peterson.
Thanks, Alex.
Austin Quinn Davidson.
Forrest Dunbar.
Suzanne LaFrance.
Felix Rivera.
Becky Whitpearson, Municipal Attorney.
Fred Dyson.
Dean Ennis.
Alex Lipka, Chief of School.
Colleen Peterson and Gina Ashman, sign language interpreters.
Pamela Weiss, Assistant Municipal Attorney. Ruth Boxstein, Assistant Municipal Attorney.
Megan Carmichael, Assistant Municipal Attorney.
Right, so we're municipal attorney.
Michael Gabriel.
I'm Robert Owens, Assistant Municipal Attorney.
Could you do that one more time, a little louder?
Yeah, Avenue intern to Assembly Council.
Thank you. Oh,
I think Aubrey gets kicked out.
yeah, Aubrey won't be staying.
Oh, hey, Aubrey.
All right, Aubrey, if you can go ahead. Sorry, you're getting kicked out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And just in case the record didn't get that, that was Barbara Jones, Municipal Clerk. All right, is there, well, I guess,
Did you need to vote with the motion?
yeah, we haven't voted on it
Is there
yet.
anyone on the phone for us? Just
Sure. Is there anyone on the phone? And we usually turn the phone off once we get into executive
so
session.
you're.
Okay, so if no one's on the phone, we're gonna get it off. Is there any opposition to going into executive session? Okay, seeing none, then we're in executive session.